Nothing tastes like a Texas summer quite like a big juicy slice of watermelon. And it's farmers like Russell and Scott Boening's job to grow them. Whether you prefer seeded or seedless, they've got you covered. These fourth-generation farmers plant both on about 200 acres southeast of San Antonio.
You have to plant the seeded watermelons to pollinate the seedless. Otherwise, if you just plant seedless watermelons in a field, you won't get any watermelons.
The Boening brothers mainly run a dairy and grow grains like corn and wheat. But low grain prices about a decade ago caused them to branch out and look for new crops. Watermelons seemed ripe for the picking. Now 10 years later, they are helping supply the major supermarkets in the state with this succulent red fruit.
We try to start planting watermelons around the 25th of March. If everything goes well and they come off like you want them to, we'll start harvesting between the 15th and the 20th of June. We like to get a good 60 and hopefully 70% of our crop harvested before the 4th of July.
Because of a cooler spring, they were about a week late planting this year, but the crop turned out good. The Boenings grow 3 of the hundreds of watermelon varieties, most of which are seedless. When the harvest time comes, there's really only one way to do it: by hand.
It's very labor intensive. Everything from the time that melon leaves the vine all the way till it gets on that truck, it's all hand done. There's no machinery to actually get it there. Those melons are touched about 2 or 3 times to get them on the truck.
One of the biggest challenges to growing any kind of produce is finding folks to help harvest. It's something farmers like Russell want lawmakers to keep in mind when making decisions about immigration reform. If there's no one to pick the fruit, it will be grown somewhere besides the U.S.
There's people that want to do this, and it's immigrant labor. We talk about securing the borders, which everybody agrees is a thing that we have to do. I think a good guest worker program actually helps secure the borders, because you can go get that labor can come over here legally.
Once the produce is out of the field, they are cleaned, thumped, and sorted into 2 categories. The number 1s head to major grocery stores, and the number 2s will end up sold on the side of the road or in smaller stores. Most of the time, the only real difference is what's on the outside.
The melon not only has to be good on the inside, it has to look good on the outside. So if it has a blemish, if it has a little bit sunburn, that melon is great. You can cut it open and there is nothing wrong with it. But they're not aesthetically pleasing to the consumer, they won't sell.
Texas ranks number 3 in watermelons grown in the U.S. Farmers in over 100 counties grow more than 42,000 acres. One reason watermelons are so refreshing is they are 92% water, making them perfect for those summer picnics. And as far as what to look for when you give them that all-telling thump,
there's a certain sound. If they're overripe, it'll be like a dead sound, and if they're just right, it's more of like a drum. When you thump it, if it doesn't really kind of bounce back at you, it's probably an overripe melon.
For TFB News, Ed Wolf, Floresville.